kind of cool. But we'll go out and play some Frisbee. King, you want to go play some Frisbee? Let's go do it. Let's go. Oh, wait. Let's do this officially. Let's do it officially. Boom. So King and I are going to go do some flat work. Let's go, handsome. Come on, Superman. King. Right, this here versus this. And you can see him shift. Come on. Right? You can see him shift each time. And that shift is, it might be the thing that is necessary for you to get your dog to flip. Yes, good man. Ouse. Ouse. Yes. Oh, you got hosed. You got hosed. There are only two. Good. Didn't make it out. Hey. Cupcake, I can't reach it. Yeah. Whoa, look at Frisbee is about the stuff between the tricks, right? You have 36 tricks in a freestyle routine, maybe, if you're lucky. It's a lot of tricks, right? So 36, 32, 36, right? That's pretty packed freestyle routine. Each trick takes anywhere from half a second to 1.5 seconds, right? The actual trick, yeah? So what are you doing for the other minute 30, minute 45, right? All the stuff happens between the tricks. Go. Do it, Epi. Good. Ouse. Go. Do it. Ouse. Yes, ouse. Up. Ouse. Yes, for a new cupcake. Good. Mouse. Through. Yes, mouse. Yes. Badass. Go, go, go. He's got good penmanship. Ouse. Go, go, go. Ouse. Yes, ouse. Almost got my timer right. Up. Ouse. Good. Right there. Yes, good. You gotta sit straight. Good. That's it, like that. Come on, buddy. Through. Yes, ouse. Yes. Badass. Dude. Excuse me. Excuse me. Hey, hey. Cupcake. Cupcake. Yes. How's it going? Philosophy Friday. I'm gonna get crazy tonight, guys. I'm ready. I am ready. So that's clever, Cupcake. You're super clever. It's funny. Can you see her over there? That's her spot. So, yeah, here we are. Philosophy Friday. This is the first one of these, guys. I'm going to go through the Cynefin framework. I'm going to go through some flow training, share a couple links, maybe train some dogs. I'm going to try and start getting this stuff out and about. I have a couple of things to read and share, and we're going to talk about what's going on inside your dog's little brain. And it's a little bit more than what we're used to talking about. Been doing a philosophy dive for the last couple months. I've got a strong basis in the history of philosophy, and I've read a couple of pretty cool pieces. I haven't read any big books. I'm going through this again. Oh, come on. There it is. The Archaeology of Mind, Jaak Panksepp. I went through it a few years ago, and I didn't quite know what I was looking for. Those of you guys who don't know, it's the Archaeology of Mind. Neuroevolutionary Origins of Human Emotions. And a lot of people kind of freak out at the language of that. And it's a play on Hegel's phenomenology of spirit, or phenomenology of mind. And phenomenology is kind of a method of uncovering philosophical truths, right? So I've been doing my own little phenomenology, right? Driving me crazy, but I've picked up some really cool things, and they dovetail with how I work, and they really they lay out how dogs think. The super structured and simple illustration of thought and being, epistemology and ontology, right? Knowledge and being. They really are important for dogs. Like, the dogs are doing that quite literally. And I'm exploring that. I'm working on a phenomenology of play. It's part of a Play Plus program that I have. So yeah, lots of stuff is going on. That book is stunning, Sage Paw. Stunning. The Archaeology of Mind by Jaak Panksepp. Super, super cool dude. As a matter of fact, while we're talking about this, I will pull up a link. If you look up Jaak Panksepp, you can find it. Let me, it's a little hard here. There's a particular one that I'd like to share. It's super cool. There it is. So here you go. Yeah, definitely not very easy reading stuff, but super, super cool. I'd recommend that link that I just shared. I'll put it up there. It's in the chat. It's super, super cool. Jaak Panksepp is the founder of affective neuroscience. 7 base mammalian affects that he's identified. And the one that we're really interested in as dog trainers, and nobody really knows about, is the seeking system. King is demonstrating it right now. The seeking system, Cupcake is doing it as well. We have seeking, play, rage, lust, panic, grief, care. Son of a pup. Play, right? So play is actually an affect, an emotional affect. And Jaak Panksepp discovered that rats chirp at 50 hertz when they're happy, right? And that's where affective neuroscience started. And he studied laughing rats. If you ever heard of the laughing rat guy, that's the dude. Super cool guy. So I might talk a little bit about what he's got going on, but really what I want to do is just kind of lay out this Cynefin framework. So I have 3 things, well, 2 things that I'm kind of working on. The flow theory by Mihaly, Csikszentmihalyi, I think is how you pronounce it. It's a positive psychology theory, and it's about hitting the zone and attaining Satori, you know, that the Zen. It's that thing that we do with dogs, especially in Frisbee. And I'm not just talking about keeping the dog moving. I'm talking about like when things are going amazing and you lose track of time. So I'll share some of that stuff. And then the Cynefin framework is the other piece that I'm working on at the same time. And that is a sense-making framework. And it helps to show where the dogs, or where we're at when we're working with the dogs. So yeah, Csikszentmihalyi. I'm going to pull that up. I can share the link. I'll pull it up so you guys can see it too. So let me see here. What am I going to pull up? Yep. So here we go. Safari. Boom. So that's the thumbnail you're looking for there. You really want that thumbnail, right? It's a great hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. And it's just a pretty stunning piece. So I dove into that, and we've been working on the Cynefin framework here in class for, I don't know, a year and a half now. And I have some diagrams I want to show you, and I want to talk about what's going on. And I'm going to be struggling through this myself. I'm no philosopher, dude. I mean, I kind of am, but I don't know much anything. You know what I mean? I'm not super swift, right? I am getting, where can I put this? Here, I can do this. I am getting a little bit more comfortable with the terminology. So I've taken in 150 hours probably of philosophy. There's a super cool guy, Arthur Holmes, A History of Philosophy. It's 81 classes from Wheaton College. He's I think Wheaton might be Catholic, but he's a religious guy. And I kind of dig the religious guys with philosophy because they have an angle to them, you know what I mean? So they're actually exploring the philosophy with an eye towards their theology. And I'm not really into theology, right? I'm not very Christian, I'm a Taoist. But I do appreciate the perspective and the angle that they take. It allows me to figure out what it is they're talking about, you know? So I've been doing that. I've been reading a bunch. I've been chatting with the demon, ChatGPT, my little friendly demon. I'm going to read a little piece from ChatGPT. So, do you guys have anything that you want to hit on? A few of you are here. If you have anything you want to hit on, let me know. Dog training, Frisbee, whatever is open and available. We'll save the 12 hands form for Throwing Thursday next week. I'll totally do that. I saw that Sage Paw. We'll keep that for the Throwing Thursday. But I am taking requests for whatever we got going on. Hi, Coop Cake. Hello. I see you. You're all running around. Had a real, what'd you think of that? The little cupcake, the accidental cupcake during class was pretty interesting, eh? Right? I hope that came off as well as it felt like or seemed like it was coming off. Yeah. So Byron was in class. We have class Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. And we were in class, and I was trying to lay some of this stuff out in class. Poor Byron's fucking brain's gonna explode. Did I make it 15 minutes? I did. All right, YouTube won't punish me for the swearing. I was talking to one of our classmates. She's a really good trainer, and she comes from an obedience background, and she's doing the stuff that we're talking about. And I was talking about it, and wasn't quite resonating with her, and so I tried to demonstrate some of it. One of the primary things that we're using in the dog training is nope, just a mic. Webcam would be great because then I can see you when you're about to cry when I'm yelling at you. I can see that you're about to cry, so I can take it easy. We do some heavy discussion, and it's really nice to be able to see everyone. So it's not necessary, but it is. I do like it. It allows me to be a little more comfortable while I'm talking to people. So class, vice directors, and whatchamacallit, bus buddies, $10, $25 a month on our Patreon. They get access to classes. $25 a month, you get access to all of our classes. And there are a bunch of good ones. Patreon.com. Oops, that isn't right. It's P-Vibe without the R. Patreon.com/P-Vibe. There we go. That's the one. So, pretty cool. SagePaw, if you come in, I'll give you access to class at the Cup of Joe level. You can get into DiscDogDojo class, but only DiscDogDojo class. If you come in at the vice director level, I'll give you access to all the classes. There are about 7, 8 of them. And you'll have access to all the classes. So $10 a month, all the classes for you only. Right? For you only. There are a few people grandfathered in on that, but nobody else. Maybe Grace. She hasn't been here in so long, I can't even remember her handle. What's her handle? SagePaw? Jeez Louise. Yeah, she hasn't been here. Anyway. All right, so what the hell am I talking about? Ace of Hogan, yep. Ace of Hogan, you get in, same deal for SagePaw. You guys are here all the time, and I'll tell you what, if any of you guys show up and are here all the time and contribute, I'll give you the same deal. How's that? All right, I will do that. Super interested in working with people more so than I am making money. I do need to make some money, but I do appreciate working with people who are interested. So let's see. Where do I want to start? Okay, so I know, right? So sad. So we've been doing this thing. I have this game. It's called Where's the Trigger? Okay, And it's the game that we use to teach people to play with their dogs. And it's about as drop dead simple and dumb as any game there is. And the dogs freaking love it, right? And the reason the dogs love it is because it is novel, consequent opportunity, right? Novel, consequent opportunity. And if you experience that, self-induced, so you choose to do it, novel, consequent opportunity, that will lead to enjoyment. And everybody likes enjoyment, right? When people give their dog a cookie, right? You can give that as pleasure, right? Or you can give it as enjoyment. You can affirm the dog's behavior, or you can pay a dog for achieving, okay? And affirmation and pleasure are a black hole. If you got to go and get cookies, better cookies, and you got to go get bacon or whatever, you are doing pleasure, right? All my guys work for kibble. The end. I don't need to ever go get better food. Now that said, I do use high value motivation for particular skills, but I don't have to be like, oh shit, I got to go get the good stuff here, right? It doesn't work like that because my dogs are doing achievement and enjoyment. Dogs that are on affirmation and pleasure take cookies. Dogs that are doing achievement and enjoyment make cookies, right? The pleasure dog, the dog that requires affirmation, they're black holes. You will never give them enough. You will never give them enough to make them happy. Dogs that are doing achievement and enjoyment, they're shining stars. They make cookies, and they love whatever it is they're doing. And that comes from flow theory, by the way. It comes from flow theory. It also comes from a bunch of philosophy that I haven't read, that I've only been exposed to. I couldn't even cite a philosopher that talks about it. Have been exposed to it in my philosophy dive, though. So we do achievement here and enjoyment, and it's super simple. All you have to do is provide novel, consequent opportunity, and that's not hard. That's not easy when we're doing our dog training, right? And a lot of people are playing games, and those games lose their novelty and lose their opportunity. And as soon as that happens, it doesn't matter how cool it is, they're going to get bored. And they're going to require more and more and more. Yeah, right? Yep, for sure, Byron. Having multiple dogs, working multiple dogs certainly goes a long way towards achievement. Opportunity is always a given here. There aren't a lot of, Epi's jealous. Epi is jealous. Are you jealous, Epi? Are you jealous? So funny. Let's see. Let me lay out a quick idea here. So I'm going to read some notes that I took. I believe the guy's name is Husserl. He's a French philosopher. I think he is he's an existentialist, a positive existentialist. He's got this really cool, the three-part sequence is super common in philosophy. And he has this concept called intentionality, right? And intentionality is, what I intend to do, right? I could get super lost trying to explain that. I'm just gonna read this. There are three parts. There's the constitutive act, there is the constructive act, and there is the meaning-given act, right? So the constitutive act, it makes the object present to me. It draws my attention and puts my mind to it. There is no object without a subject. And the constitutive action constitutes the object for me, right? So I have to do that. I have to set something up that says, hey, this is the thing, right? Our dogs need that as well, right? This stuff is applying to your dogs, guys. It is applying to your dogs. So we have to constitute the object, the idea, right? The object is the idea. And once we constitute that, then it's constituted, hey, I have this idea, right? Then I construct the action, or I construct the idea. It's the constructive act or the constructive action. So the nature of my knowing, the idea or the object, constructs the overall situation. It pulls it together for me, right? It's not the isolated object, but the entire scene, right? It's the entire scene. All knowledge is self-referential. It's my reference, okay? The dog constructs their situation the same way, right? When I'm talking about me, I'm the dog as well, right? So for the dog, the nature of my dog knowing constructs the overall situation. It pulls it together for the dog. It's not the isolated object, but the entire scene. All knowledge is dog referential. It relates to the dog. And the dog does this, guys, not joking. Dog does this, right? And then after we act, after we order the subjects, we then order we actualize the situation, we order the world, and then we act, okay? We decide. And the dog orders the objects and actualizes the plan and decides, right? So in simple English. So we give the cue and it constitutes the idea for the dog. It constructs the situation, pulls it together, and orders the ideas involved. This happens before the trigger, before any action happens. So when I give the cue, touch, boom, yes, right? So Epi, all of them actually, saw, oh, he said touch, I wonder what's happening. That was the constitutive act. Epi, because he's badass, constructed the whole situation, right? And he was just waiting for the moment that he could deliver his meaning to it, that he could make the decision, right? And he saw his opportunity and he took it. I went down right there, right in front of you, exactly what I just said, right? I had to do that before I did anything, and the dog had to respond to it too, right? So, Epi, stall, chill. And I hope Epi doesn't come. Touch. Yes. Excuse me. Excuse me. That was not you. Go, go, go. Right? King just did the same thing. Right? That was not, the king knows how to touch. He heard that. He was like, huh? Constructed the situation. I wasn't even looking at him. Right? And he came over and hit that. So, so we give the cue and it constitutes the idea for the dog. It constructs the situation, pulls it together, and orders the ideas involved before the trigger. Then I trigger, and the dog hops on it, right? There's a reason I'm separating the cue and the trigger. This where is the trigger game plays on that, and it teaches the dog how to do this. I say through, my legs are together. The dog looks at me and says, there's nothing to go through, Ron. And then I open my legs, and that is the trigger. They know that is the trigger, and they execute. Right? I know it beforehand. I constitute it. I set it up. Me and the dog both construct it. This is the situation. This is how it's going to go down. That abstraction happens. That abstract thinking happens, right? And then when we give meaning to it, it becomes concrete and it happens. And that is straight up how it works. All mammals, all critters. Alligators getting ready to eat something, right? He sees the thing in the water. He sees it in the water. He constitutes the idea. There's a fucking thing in the water. I'm gonna get that, right? He looks around, he sets up the situation, he goes and executes. All of us do that. Nature does this. Cells do this, right? It's an ontological construct. Means ontological being, right? Anyway, so we give the cue and it constitutes the idea for the handler. It constructs the situation, pulls it together, and orders the ideas involved before the trigger. So we give the cue and it constitutes the idea for the team. It constructs the situation, pulls it together, and orders the ideas involved before the trigger, right? And this is happening again in all of our work. So why does nobody talk about this and why don't people do it? Pretty simple answer. We do it. We don't know. And it isn't until we get at a super high level in static trick situations, or we need to do something crazy with the trick that we experience trouble with it. The dog is unable to construct the situation. They have the idea, oh yeah, I think this is it, and then the situation is too different from what the dog understands, and the dog can't construct the situation, right? Also, the dog is not using the constitutive stage where they hear it and they go, oh, that's the thing. When I say touch, right? Everybody knows that there's a hand target. Boom. Anyone? Yes, King. Good man. Right? If I do touch, King, here, yes, right? And that's my extent, yes, of touch. Yes, right? How's the dog gonna know what to do outside of this, right? What I want to do, where is the trigger? Touch. Yes. So watch King's response here. Hey, go to dog stuff. FB, excuse me. Touch. Yes, good. Do you see how sharp he is on that? Right? Cupcake, go to dog stuff. I'll push Cupcake out of the scene. So touch. Yes, good man. Right? King is firing, ready to do this. You know, I tell him touch and I do this and he comes at it real slow, right? It's about what a hand target looks like. Touch. Yes, don't hump me. We have bitches in season here. He's gonna hump me. Go to dog stuff. No humping, King. Do not hump me on the live stream. Not allowed. So that's where is the trigger. And what we did there was to essentially establish intentionality, right? We are establishing intentionality. I gave the cue, King constructed or constituted the situation. Okay, it's a touch, you know, this is what's, I think, okay, touch, right? And then he looked at the situation. Well, where's the trigger? I don't know, I better wait here. What's happening? What side of the hand, where's he gonna do it, right? And then, boom, I present the trigger and that collapses into action. He's like compelled and sucked into that, man. And it's exciting, it's novel, it's opportunity. It's consequent. He gets a cookie. That's awesome, right? And hopefully you guys can rewind it. You can see the first couple targets where he was kind of like, okay, yeah, right? And then as soon as we did where's the trigger, he was like, holy shit, and he was popping on it. And that is what we're talking about here. That moment, while the dog is in between the cue and the trigger, there's a moment, and it's called aporia. Oh, come on, it's somewhere here, right? I do have that, don't I? Gosh darn it. Let me see. Yeah. I got it here because my eyes are terrible and it's hard to see. So I'm going to read this long thing. I'll tell you what it is first, and then I'll read it. So aporia, it's at a loss for words, right? Or at an impasse is what it means in Greek. And it comes from Plato and excuse me. Actually, yeah, you should probably not come down and eat anyone. He is dismissed. I should probably let him go, but he can be an asshole, so I'm not going to do that. Aporia, at an impasse. I can't take this question. And we set that up on purpose, right? And there's a reason for it. And I'm going to read this, and it will hopefully make a little bit of sense here. All right, I am going to move it over here so I can kind of be looking at the camera. All right, give me 1 sec so I can embiggen it for my old ass eyes. Come on, Ron. There we go. In philosophy, the term aporia is used to describe a state of puzzlement, confusion, or perplexity that arises when one encounters a seemingly insoluble problem or paradox. Paradox, great word for this, by the way. Where's the trigger? That's a paradox. I've given the cue. There's no trigger, right? Where is it? That's a paradox. Aporia is often associated with Socratic philosophy, where it was used as a method of inquiry aimed at exposing the limits of human knowledge and understanding. We're using it to expose the limits of dog and human knowledge and understanding. The term aporia is derived from the Greek word aporos, which means impassable or without a way. It is often used to describe a state of being stuck or at an impasse in one's thinking, where one is unable to resolve a contradiction or find a way forward. In some philosophical contexts, aporia is seen as a desirable state, as it can lead to a deeper understanding of the problem or issue at hand. By confronting the limitations of one's knowledge and understanding, one can gain a more nuanced perspective and perhaps even discover new avenues of inquiry. Right? That's what we're talking about. And I've been setting up aporia for probably 5-7 years, right? When I'm doing a routine, right? Yeah, super cool. When I'm doing a routine, I am not letting the dog go on autopilot, right? I'm setting up these moments. When I say top, that's a linear vault, right? Top, and I don't do anything. Dog comes sprinting in, right? I don't do anything. I vault on the run, by the way. And I vault on the run with collection. I do stalls on the run. Dog comes running in from 20 yards away, slows his shit down, and catches a disc on the way up to landing on my back, right? A lot of people do caught stalls now. Nobody does them on the run. And if they do, the dog runs hauling ass and sticks on the back, which is fucking cool, right? Super cool. But it gets away from you. It gets away from you. So because I'm essentially pushing my dog into this aphoretic state, into aporia, the dog can't make the decision until I pull the trigger. At which point in time, dog is sprinting at me from 20 yards away. I cue top. Dog is like, yeah, he said top, that's a linear vault. He constitutes it, he constructs the situation, and now he's just waiting for me to make the meaning happen with the trigger. And so he rocks back and he waits until he gets the trigger. Sometimes I don't deliver the trigger. And then we stop and nothing happens. That keeps him honest, right? He's literally at an impasse then. The paradox is real, right? So when my dog comes sprinting at me for the running vault, right? I cue top, the dog says, okay, I got that. I know what a top is. That's a linear vault. I bet this is going to be behind on his back. That's constitutive. He's 18 yards away. I'm coming up on him. What's he going to do? There's the constructive stage. And then I give the trigger and I turn and he executes, right? And our moving vaults are safe. They're effective, right? We catch most of them, right? It's not at all dangerous. The dog is not fucking running like 10 motherfuckers jumping off me. Dog is running up with a very clear idea. Sorry, an abstract idea, but it's very clear, right? And when I give the trigger, boom, that idea gets super concrete and the dog is on the right page, right? All of us, dog handler team, we all experience that. We all go through it. You can't know exactly what you're going to do with your routine until you're doing it, right? Can't know until you're doing it. And yeah, that's about what I got. That's about what I got to say on that. I need a Forrest Gump. I need a Forrest Gump thing so I can just bail out of crazy discussions. Aporia, super important. When King was sitting in front of me, unable to take the trigger, that was aporia, right? And he was using that time to either construct the situation or to read me to figure out how it was going to go down, right? And now my dog hears the cue, knows what's going to happen, and waits to execute the trigger. Can't execute without the trigger. Super cool. So that is my new stuff today. I picked that up. So you hear me talk about the answer dog. Yeah, life is like a box of chocolates. Exactly. You never know which one you're going to get, dude. See? Forrest Gump, complete fucking philosopher. You know, he offered that lady a chocolate. She was totally struck. Aporia, right? Bubblegum shrimp. It's a household name, right? So intentionality. We talk about the problem-solving dog and the answer dog. The accidental cupcake is probably going to be a big topic. You've seen Cupcake running around like crazy. Have you noticed Cupcake is not running around taking all the pedestals now, is she? I fixed that this afternoon in class, right? And fixed it. Of course, I didn't fix it. But I did settle it down. I did settle it down quite a bit. And she's starting to utilize her knowledge, right? So anyway, intentionality is required for a problem-solving dog and for cooperative work. If we don't have intentionality, the dog just answers I see what's happening, boom, I go and do the thing. Cupcake jumping up on the pedestals a million times, jumping on this pedal, that pedestal. Let me get up on this thing. Let me back up, right? I'm doing all the things, right? Shaping can put us in that situation rather quickly. Yeah, see, she's going to go, yeah. Did she get up there? She didn't, did she? Yes, good girl, right? How cool is that? The accidental cupcake she didn't get on the pedestal, right? Oh my gosh. She's like, oh, I'm going to run to the pedestal. And she was like, hey, he didn't tell me. I should probably go check it out, right? I've been struggling with that for about a month. I recognized that she was in trouble with all the running around about a month ago. And this idea here, the intentionality, like completely fixed it for me. And of course, I have to know how to do it. Where's the trigger? And then I have to be a little creative. I set up 3 pieces of criteria, right? Yes, yep, for sure. And it only gets better. That's the other thing. So the cue is so funny, man. The cue gives an abstract notion of what's going to happen, right? I say through. Dog goes, okay, I got to go through something. It's usually the legs. He's standing there. Looks like he's about 2 yards away. Okay, where's the trigger, dude? Right? That's the abstract notion. When I open my legs and give the trigger, bang. It's concrete. He executes. and he executes with knowledge, and he applies his knowledge. He hears the cue, and he assembles an idea, then he constructs a plan and waits to execute. What else could we ask for, guys? What else could we fucking ask for, right? And, you probably experience this every once in a while with your dogs. I know I did, right? I know I was experiencing it every once in a while. As we started to implement the Kneffen framework and build the trigger skills, so last year I picked up the trigger. So a trigger is a wait. If your dog only goes on the trigger and you set up the cue through and there's no trigger, he has to wait, right? Has to. No trigger, can't go. It's paradox. I'm in a state of aporia, right? And then the trigger happens and the dog goes. If the dog gets bored or checks out or whatever, I open up my legs and they're walking away and they're like, oh shit, what happened? I missed it. If they hustle and they get through, right? They get to do it. If they don't, I don't care, right? And when they realize they missed that opportunity, they want to do it. Doesn't take a cookie. Missed opportunity is a fucking awesome cookie, man. It's a terrific cookie. But you have to have the game set up and the idea that we're achieving something, right? If I'm just giving the dog cookies, right? Just giving the dog cookies. There's nothing cool about that. You know what I mean? That dog is going to want more and more cookies, right? And they're going to do less and less for it. They're going to do less and less for it. So, all right. The cue gives the abstract notion of what is to be done, and the trigger concretizes it. Makes it concrete. Boom, we do it, right? We do it. So the cue delivers the idea and the trigger executes the plan, right? Cue delivers the idea, then the dog formulates a plan, the trigger executes it, to speak in plain English, right? So I'm calling that like the duality of the trigger, or the duality of the stimulus. And it's a terrible idea, but terrible word. But I wanna use this idea of duality. I kind of like that. We have the cue, we have the trigger. They need to stay separate. They're not the same. For those of you guys who are listening to me and being like, whatever, I think you're crazy. When you have a super awesome obedience dog or protection sport dog, or you got a trick that's really, really money, and it's at a super precise, hyper precise level, or a really high level of performance, you'll start to recognize that the dog is going too early. So we were talking to the person in class, sit and stand, right? Sit, stand, right? And if the dog is down and you say s, the dog will choose which one they think. Keep in mind, if you just have a cue, a verbal cue, right? If you have no trigger, the dog will do one of them, the one that they think on s, right? And you'll see people having to change their cue. Circus, sassafras, sit, stony, Starlink, stand, sit, circus, sit, right? And what they're doing there is they're setting up the end of the cue, right? They're just trying to firm up the cue because that's all that they're thinking about, right? They have a monad cue, right? A single thing. The cue is a single thing. It is the thing, right? And what happens is the dog doesn't have that. The dog hears s, right? And the dog does it based upon the situation. The dog hears s, and they don't have experience reading the constituting and constructing. So they make the meaning happen. They make the decision, right? Based upon available evidence, right? So the handler gets to sit or stand, right? And because they have it kind of as a singularity or a monad, a single thing, they don't recognize that the end of the word is the trigger. Sit, right? You can do the Sesame Street thing, right? Stand, right? And the third one is a trigger, right? The synthesis of the two is the trigger, the finish, the whole word. And for me, and what I'm talking about here, that's just a cue and a trigger, right? The dog initially is doing sit and stand at the end of the word, and then they get good at it and they figure out what's happening, right? They figure out what's happening, and then they move based upon what they think is happening, and they get away with it for a while because we're learning, and I need to give him cookies because he needs to get reinforced for it, right? Maybe do some affirmation stuff, but if you start out with the cue and trigger, yeah, well, think about everything in your house. Think about all the things your dog does in the house. You get ready to go to the bathroom, dog goes to the bathroom with you, right? You grab your keys, dog goes to the door. You grab your keys for work, dog goes and lays down because they know you're going to work, right? You grab your keys at 4:30, they go to the door. And we're going to play, right? You grab this pair of shoes, they know they're going for a walk. You grab that pair of shoes, they know that they're going outside to play. You didn't teach them that, right? They set all that up on their own. How did they do that? How do they know that? Right here, dude. Right here. I'm telling you. That's how it goes down. You get your shoes. You get your keys. The dog goes, oh, the keys are happening. Something's happening. What is happening? Then they construct the situation. It's 4:30. Oh, she's going and getting those shoes. Oh, fuck yeah, we're going to play, dude. Woo! And they're on, right? Your dog navigating around the family, knowing what cupboard you're opening. All of these things go down just like this, right? All of it goes down just like this. They're aware of this. They do this, right? We're not aware of it, and we're not capitalizing on it, right? So why don't those super smart scientists do this, right? Why don't the super smart scientists do it? And why is dumb old Frisbee guy dunking on the I'm dunking on the scientists right now, by the way. I am fucking dunking on those bastards for sure, right? And I'm dunking on them because their job is to do it so anyone can do it. If you've been around dog training long enough, you know that super awesome dog trainers break the rules all the time. They break the rules of science all the time. They adhere to them most of the time. They look to them for guidance, right? They get the guidance, they grab the essence of that, and they pervert it like crazy. And they wind up with amazing frickin' dogs, right? And science is about reproducing the situation. If you can't roll it right back up on, so you let a ball go and it rolls down the thing, right? If it can never roll down that thing the same way ever again, you can't science that thing. You'll be lucky to math it. And then you'll have to say, yeah, I proved it. And everyone will be like, yeah, I don't think you proved it, right? Or you can philosophize it. It does this, the phenomenology thing. You can lay it out how you think it happened, but nobody can know, right? The scientist, yeah, and the reason is because they can't. That's not their job. They can't, because you can't prove what I'm telling you. You can't prove it. It's a phenomenology. I'm explaining it. You either got to buy it or not, whatever, right? I do have highly predictive abilities with it, right? But not everyone can do it, right? Not everyone can do it. And if they do it, they don't do it exactly the same way. That's the other thing that science has a problem with, right? Science has a problem with, I write my paper, every yokel, any dude who walks in from Harvard who's never touched a dog has to be able to do that with the dog by reading the paper. If it requires special ability, special knowledge, too many variables for a normal person to juggle or for the fucking spreadsheet to handle, right? It's not science, right? It becomes a soft science, becomes psychology, shit like that, right? Flow theory, super awesome, man. 500%, 500 to 1,000% productivity increase if you hit the zone, right? That Csikszentmihalyi guy, he spent his whole life studying that. And he's got this unbelievable phenomenology on how, like, that link that I shared earlier, on how a auto worker did, he has like 90 seconds to do a thing, right? And he wound up being able to do it in like 38 seconds or something, right? And his days would fly by. He loved his job. He prepared for it like it was the Olympics, you know what I mean? And you can't hard science that. You can't take me and put me in that job and get me to a point that I can do that so well that I can do it in a third the time of what I'm allotted on a heavy, fast-moving assembly line, right? That's not scienceable. So the irreproducibility of art can't be scienced, right? So it goes away. That shit out of here, right? Click cookie, variable reinforcement. Don't get too crazy with that variable. Don't get too crazy with that. We can't track the results, right? But I get better results from the dog. Yeah, but we can't science it. If you do that, we have to put that into psychology, and then it's just bullshit. We're talking science, man, science, right? So there's that aspect, right? That's why I'm dunking on the scientists. That's why all great dog trainers dunk on scientists all day, while I rely on the science, right? And the third reason is not a very pleasant one. They don't want smart dogs. They don't want smart dogs. They don't want smart dogs. They want dogs that are easy to control, right? They want to be able to get you set up, put you in a Skinner box, and turn you loose and predict exactly what's going to happen. And that's what the science, the hard science, has been about. And it's kind of gross, and it really kind of angers me because I spent a lot of time relying entirely on the hard science. And this philosophy dive has really kind of opened up my eyes on that. And so art, dog training is art as well as science. You do have to have the scientific principles down, right? But there's a lot of ways to skin the cat. There's a lot of ways to motivate a person. You know what I mean? A lot of ways to motivate a person. Some people aren't motivated by money. Some people aren't motivated by fame, right? Some people are motivated by self-respect. Some people are motivated by enjoyment. Some people are motivated by achievement, right? Damn the torpedoes, I don't care what happens, I want to do this thing, right? And that's not scienceable, right? So that's why I'm dunking on science, and if you don't like it, oh well, go watch a clicker training video, right? Yeah, well, you know, unless you're not, right? You go learn helplessness real quick. Go learn helplessness real quick with an electric shock. The other thing I'd like to mention, and I'm reading this in, Jaak mentions it in that piece that I shared, the affective neuroscience piece. He mentions that, you know how rats are picked up by their tails, right? Rats and mice, they don't like that, dude. It traumatizes them. They have physiologically detectable problems from that for, if I recall, like a day or two, right? When a rat smells a cat, they don't go back there for like a long time. They don't go back there for a long, just smelling it, man. See a cat, holy shit, they won't go anywhere near that for a really long time, right? So it's picking them up by their tail, right? All the shit that we rely on as the baseline of behaviorism is with traumatized critters, right? And I used to think it was a big mistake, and then I realized that it's about control. It's about control, people, and you know, when you put people under stress, keep them at 80% weight, right? You know about that, right? For a properly trained clicker dog, right? Operant conditioning to really work and do its magic, they got to be at 80% weight. They got to be hungry. They can't be satisfied, right? You keep them on edge, and I'm not down. I like to play with my dogs, dude, and I play with my dogs, and they're well fed. They're not hungry. They don't even want the cookies. You know, I mean, they do want the cookies. They earned them, right? But they're not dying for cookies. I got shitty old kibble in my bag right now, right? Right? Yeah. So, all right, I bagged on science enough. If you guys want to come at me in comments, bring it. I'm happy to go after that. I won't say that I'm right on anything I'm talking about, but I'll be happy to talk about it. I'll be happy to be proven wrong, right? I'm not suggesting I know it all. Believe me, right? I just caught this really cool shit, man, and I've been doing this really cool shit with dogs for a long time, and I've been breaking the rules, like, and the rules keep getting in the way, and the further I get away from the established rules, still the principles of science in there, but the further I get away from the established rules, the better my dogs behave, right? And my dogs are terrible. My dogs are freaking terrible, right? Oh, Sage Paw. Oh. I'm into that, and I don't have to do a bunch of work. Hey, Regina, thanks for subscribing to the dojo. We do have a tip jar. I'll throw it up there. I am into tips. Patreon, blah blah blah. Got a grift, I guess. I'm not a very good grifter, guys. I'm just not a good grifter. I'm really interested in the ideas. So there, I bagged on science for a while. Let's see. Let's pull up. Let's pull up the flow theory, and I just want to I'll pull this up. I'll make this big, and I'll share this right here. Get out of Safari. Hopefully I don't have anything crazy on Safari. That would be bad. Boom. All right. So this is a diagram from Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi. I got to learn how to say that. I'm going to say it so many times. Oops, hang on. Let me adjust my camera. Boom. All right. So what we have here is we have challenge. Right? We have challenge going up along here. As the challenge gets higher, right? Right? Yeah, it's, hang on. I'll give you the link. I need to give you a wrench. You don't have a wrench, do you? Can I just give you a wrench here? I don't know if I can. I think I got to do it via YouTube. I'll make sure I get a wrench, Byron. That should be it. Griff link. So challenge goes up along the side here, right? Right there. And skill goes along the line over here, right? This line right here is where we want to stay, right? We want to keep the skill and the challenge aligned. High challenge, high skills. Matching challenge and skill with novel consequent opportunity. We have flow. We have flow, baby. We can flow with dumb old friggin' hand targeting, and where's the trigger, right? So as long as we're moving from here, you can see it from here, 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 running that line, we have a chance to be in flow. Time will stop. Oh, I got to pull up the 8 things of flow. Hang on. Notes. 8 rules. Is that going to do it? Yes, 8 rules of flow. How cool is that? All right, so there are 8 rules of flow. You have to have clear goals. The goals are apparent. They're mini goals, right? They're mini goals. And there has to be a clarity of goals. You need immediate feedback. Here, I'll share this. We'll do this instead of that right now. Get you guys lined up on boom, notes. Boom. All right, can I increase the size? View. Zoom in. Control plus, or period, right? Control what, period? Shift control, period. Boom, yeah! Even old guys can see it. Oh no, hopefully I don't have any weird titles over there. So clear goals. Goals are apparent. There are mini goals. There's a clarity of goals. Okay, I mark quote unquote no cookie a lot, right? Drives proper clicker trainers and sciencey people freaking bonkers, right? I break the rules on that. The reason that I do that, and I achieve flow very frequently with my dogs, right? I think with this I might actually wind up with some pretty fucking good, well-behaved dogs finally, and then the chink in my armor will be solved. So I essentially, when I'm working through a behavior chain, I break up the behavior chain into very small bites. A retrieve. I do oops, I can't reach it, right? Oops, I can't reach it, right? And that's how I teach a retrieve, right? I teach a carry, go to dog stuff. I teach a carry with a back chain. So I use a lot of back chaining, a lot of elegant stuff like that. Oops, I can't reach it either works or it doesn't, right? If I have to teach a retrieve, or if I have to troubleshoot a retrieve, what behaviors are involved in a retrieve? Anyone got them? I won't do that. If we ever wind up with enough people here, we'll revisit this topic, and I'll give the whole spiel, and we can have a bunch of people talking about it. So you have attention, targeting the object, orientation to the object, approaching the object, tracking the object if it's moving, arrive at the object, touch, bite, hold, reorient, target, approach, track if the handler's moving, arrive, sit, eye contact, give. That's a retrieve, right? And oops, I can't reach it just happens. And a back chain, or go get it, bring it here. It's not enough, right? Those aren't mini goals, right? They're not mini goals. The goals are not apparent. They are, oops, I can't reach it. Thank you, Epi. Mine. Good job. Good job. So the goals are not apparent. The clarity of the goals. If it's working, they might be clear. The dog might just know that I got to give it to you, right? The information's not there. So I use markers. Yes, I also use a clicker like this as well. The click, well, we'll talk about that. I don't know if I'm going to open up that one or not. I do it with the clicker as well. And what I get is the goals are apparent. I know what they are. I set up mini goals. Each piece, each critical piece or critical pieces of the behavior get marked. Historically, all of the criteria have been marked and reinforced. And then I continue to keep the clarity of the goals going with a marker, right? So clear goals, immediate feedback. The clarity of feedback is essential to keep you focused. If you don't know how well you're doing, it's hard to keep concentrating. My markers do that, right? And I'm going to have to do this now. My marker is not, when I load the clicker, I do not load the clicker with Epi, up, up, go, 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 up, up, yes, good man. We'll do this. When I load the clicker, I do not load the clicker with, I don't load the clicker by just click and pay. King, go do dog stuff, right? I take eye contact, and then I mark the eye contact and I pay. King, go do dog stuff. Epi, zip. She gives eye contact, bang, I mark and pay, right? I'll turn this way. And I start right there. And there's a reason that I start there, okay? And this is going to totally make sense. King, go do dog stuff. Go. She gives eye contact, boom, I pay, right? And this is where I start with all the dogs. Go do dog stuff. Now, the reason that I do that, if I just click, pay, click, pay, click, pay, what am I bridging? Feel free to answer if you want. What am I bridging there? A bridge has to go from point A to point B, right? Where's point B? What I'm doing is I'm pairing the click with the cookie. That's classical conditioning. There's no operand in there, right? And story goes, sciencey story goes, I want it to hit the amygdala. I have to ensure that every time I click, I pay. Have to. It's the rule. But what am I bridging here? I'm not bridging anything. I'm pairing, right? When I get the eye contact, I take eye contact. Hang on, I'll move over here. She'll give me the eye contact, right? What am I bridging? What does the click bridge? It bridges the attention, the behavior, and the cookie. It actually bridges something. You follow? So that bridge is really important, right? Yeah, it's the behavior that earns the cookie, not the click. The behavior makes the cookie happen. The click is the thing that says, hey, these two things are related. When I just click and pay, there's no relationship there. The dog has to figure that out later, right? And click cookie is about pleasure. It's about a physiological response, right? The dog is getting something that satisfies their physiology, and it's paired with this clicker, right? What happens when that dog gets a click and doesn't get paid, right? They get pissed off. Yeah. Yep. So when I click, the dog looks for, let me see, we'll do a hand target, right? Right? So I can do this as well with a hand target. I've done it with a hand target pretty frequently, right? So the dog very quickly learns that the click tells them that they're right. That's what they learn, click, cookie, or behavior, click, cookie. Antecedent, behavior marker, consequence. It bridges A and C. I'm not bridging anything here, right? So this here, attention, click, cookie, is achievement and enjoyment. The dog made the click happen. Here, with no attention, just pairing, just pairing, right? There is no achievement. There's no enjoyment. It's pleasure, right? Pleasure is a black hole. They need more cookies. When I want my dog to do something, I take their cookies away until they do it, right? The near miss is every bit as good as a hit if the dog is doing achievement, if the dog is enjoying the situation. When we click and pair with the cookie, that is an appetitive click. That is creating an appetite for that. Appetitive cookies are like eating bonbons on the couch. They're a black hole. Click, cookie, cookie. That's achievement. That dog gets off the couch, rocks it, maybe gets a cookie. Oh, wow. Cupcake. Oh my gosh. Spin. Whoa, all that for one cookie? Totally worth it. Fucking rocked. I set up mini goals there. The clarity of my feedback was on point. The dog knew that she was doing well. She could keep concentrating. Then she got a cookie, right? The challenges, I'm going to go back here. Done with that. The challenges here are matched. The dog can succeed. I can succeed. It's super important for Frisbee, guys. I'm not fucking joking. Super important. You cannot try and do something you can't do. You gotta be able to do it. You gotta be well managed. Dog, handler, team, in all of the dog training things, have to be well matched. Right? If you're not well matched, you're in trouble. Right? You can't make it. You'll be, I'll show you the flow thing in a sec. So with what I did with cupcakes, stringing it along with those clicks, right? The goals were apparent. Many goals. Achievement unlocked. Clarity of goals, very clear, right? There was immediate feedback, not an immediate cookie, immediate feedback. The clarity of the feedback is essential to keep her focused. She knew how well she was doing, she could keep concentrating. The challenge was matched to my ability, to the dog's ability. She could succeed. I could succeed. Me and my partner were balanced. It was a Goldilocks challenge, right? This grows on us and becomes addictive. You see her laying there right now, right? She looks super stressed, eh? Oh, hang on. Gosh darn it. Let me see if I can open that up. And she's laying there, super stoked, like, okay. Super chill, right? But she's in it, right? Uh-oh. I'm muffled and everything went blurry. Oh, no. Time to light my cigarette. All right. So it grows on you and the dog, and it can, become addictive. There's a single focus. These are the 8 rules of flow, by the way. There's a single focus. There's no split attention. I'm not thinking about, I don't know, how the stream is going. I'm not thinking about my interpersonal relationship. I'm not thinking about my bank account, right? I'm here with her. I'm doing the thing with her. Inner harmony, Zen, right? Look, she's chill. It's a hot shit clicker trained dog, man. Right? It's a hot shit frisbee dog. And she's just chilling, even though cookies were happening. Got 3 high drive dogs here who haven't ran in 2 days. Right? They're all chill. While we're doing this, an hour and a half. Time is zipped by, guys. While we're doing this, mundane life problems disappear. There's a feeling of relief, sense of being present. There's an escape to reality, right? An escape to this thing that we're doing right now, right? I mean, look how attentive she is to me, and she's not bouncing around all crazy, right? Another rule of flow, you feel in control on the edge. In Frisbee, I feel in control on the edge all the time, you know? And it's usually only when I'm not letting my mundane life problems get involved in my game, or focusing on something else, or trying to play over my head, or not talking to my dog and telling them, giving them the feedback they need. Or I have incorrect goals set, or my gaps between skills are too high, right? Comfortable on the edge, competent on the edge, match skills to the challenge. Ego is lost, no self-consciousness, no self-monitoring, no defensiveness. Transcendence beyond yourself. Transcendence as a team. The paradox of flow. This is the great one. You feel really good about what you did after you do it, right? There's increased self-esteem upon self-reflection, which is super cool. These are hallmarks of flow. The first 4 are rules. The last 4, so 1 to 4, are really the 4 rules of flow, and the last 4 are kind of the attributes of flow, how you know you were in flow. Time is transformed, hours to minutes, minutes to hours, seconds to minutes. Time adapts to the experience. Pleasure versus enjoyment. This is also flow theory from Csikszentmihalyi. Pleasure is a good feeling that is automatic and needs no skills. While it is good for the body, it doesn't help us grow. No new skills, no new experiences. Pleasure can be dangerous because we can lose control and get addicted. Food, altered states, etc. Enjoyment is not just satisfying instincts. Flow is the result of recognizing your challenges, developing skills that you didn't have before. Flow leads to growth and higher levels of complexity. That would be intellectual or performance complexity. To do all this in your life, you must learn to harness the attention of your goals. Attention is a limited resource. It's reflected in consciousness. Consciousness and your attention is a spotlight. It can only hold what we're looking at. If we try and do too many things at once, we're in a lot of trouble. If we're focusing on our life outside of the dog training at the moment we're training our dogs, we're in trouble. Friends don't let friends train angry, right? So let's see. Autotelic, I'll skip that. Yeah, I'll get off that and I'll jump over here real quick. Boom. Now we're going to talk about this map. Where are we? Preview. Gosh, I can't see, guys. It's so fucking sad. What a drag it is getting old, man. I'll move this over here now. So we have challenge going up, skill going up. At the bottom here, relaxation, low challenge, moderate skills. Take a look at Cupcake down there, right? That's relaxed. Low challenged, moderate skills. Epi, don't. Go do dog stuff. I threw a cookie over there for you. Get away. Get away. Right? Low challenge, moderate skills. That's relaxation. For some dogs, this is not going to be a low challenge. It might be a really high challenge. We move over here. Apathy. For those of you guys who train dogs, you're going to notice some of these situations. And dude, this map is fucking terrific. It pegs the dog. I can adjust my criteria. I can adjust my I can adjust my criteria in order to either raise the challenge or to change the skill level required, right? So apathy, low challenge, low skills. I'm bored. I don't want to do anything. Whatever. Check you later. Worry, moderate challenge, low skills. I don't know if I can do this. I'm not very good at this, right? And you can tell the difference between those two when you know what you're looking for, and you can then adjust the right piece. Apathy, low challenge, low skills. Well, let's get something the dog can do. Worry, moderate challenge, low skills. Let's reduce the challenge, right? Anxiety, high challenge, low skills. Let's reduce the challenge. Let's do another skill. Arousal, high challenge, moderate skills. This is where we're at most of the time, I think, right? That's where we're at most of the time. The dog doesn't have all the skills. The handler doesn't have all the skills. We muscle through it. It's great. Woo! Wow, that was crazy. All right, but we don't quite feel in control on the edge. We're not comfortable there on the whole, right? Once we hit high challenge and high skills, that's when we flow. That's when it sings. That's what we're all here training dogs for. You've done it, and you want to do it again, right? And it requires high challenge, high skills. The skill appropriately matched to the challenge, right? Better cookies is not going to make you flow. Flow is also, I think you could probably put the novel consequent opportunity, the idea of play. You can fluctuate, like that game that we were playing out there with where's the trigger with a hand target. It's not high challenge. It's not high skills. We can flow doing that. Everybody loves to do that. So I'm probably going to have to do some work on changing up the flow thing for the dog thing. Anyway, control. We have moderate challenge, high skills. That's where we run the dog, right? That's where really good trainers are at most of the time, right? We got it under control. Boredom, really important one right here, right? Low challenge, high skills. If your dog's getting bored, the challenge is too low. You got to raise the challenge. You got to take those, get less cookies, right? Low challenge, high skills. Make them work harder for less. That'll fix the boredom. And that won't do it straight up. You have to gamify it, right? I'm not saying don't pay your dog, but that thing that I did with Cupcake with the multiple clicks, and she was in it, and then she finished and she laid there and looked at me for 5 minutes, wanting to do more. That's the kind of taking away the cookie I'm talking about. Consequent novel opportunity. Basketball. The greatest players in history shot 65%. Michael Jordan shot 50%. Baseball. Greatest hitters in history bat 400. 60% of the time they fail. 50% of the time, Michael Jordan missed. Did he quit? Oh, right? He's playing a game. That shit's awesome, right? Missing, not succeeding is part of the game, right? And when I miss, I don't demand that they give me the points anyway, right? And I don't go cry. If I do that, my coach benches me. As well you should, right? You don't deserve those points. You didn't make it in the bucket. You don't deserve that. You don't deserve that hit or that home run. You didn't hit it. It's okay, right? Failure, science says, the science that I last checked, yak pangsep, if in rough and tumble play between two rats, other critters as well, rough and tumble play will be engaged in if the lesser critter, the weaker critter, wins more than 30% of the time. So when you have the rough and tumble play between dogs, huge dog, little dog, they'll play forever if the big dog lets the little dog win 30% of the time. So between two dogs, super fun, novel, consequent play, unpredictable, legit opportunity, right? Opportunity means you can miss it. Always click, always cookie. There's no opportunity in that. That's a black hole. You need better cookies later, right? Big dog, little dog. Little dog wins 31% of the time. Little dog loves that game, plays that game all the time. Little dog wins 29% of the time. He'll do that for a little while. He'll quit, right? So novel, consequent opportunity. The salary didn't hurt. Yeah, certainly not. But it's important that we recognize that what we want to do is we want to have a game. We want to play. And in order to play, there has to be you have to be able to miss. You have to be able to lose, right? You have to be able to not get what you want and still keep going, right? You have to be able to not get what you want and still keep going. If you can't do that, you don't know how to play. You don't know how to achieve. To achieve something, you have to get it. If you don't get it, you didn't achieve it. If I give you a cookie or a trophy and you didn't get it, you know, that's a black hole. You're going to need everyone to give you trophies and cookies regardless of how you do. You know, welcome to postmodernism. Here we are, right? Population U. All right, so boredom, low challenge, high skills. That is really, really cool map there. So let's see. Let me see here. Where am I at? What am I looking for? All right. So I'm going to go ahead and walk through the Cynefin framework real quick, and then I'm going to work dogs. Okay, and I'm going to kind of demonstrate some of this stuff. It's all on the tip of my tongue, top of my head. It will be on yours, and we're going to lay that out for you. All right. So which one are we looking at here? This is 4.5, 4.5, DiscDog Cynefin. Okay, so this here is the Cynefin framework, all right? And this framework is, shit, I'll do this. Whoa, shit's getting live out there. And I'll put that on in the background for a sec. Pretty exciting. Well, not very exciting. So, Cynefin framework. There are 5 domains actually. The clear domain, where facts and concepts live. The complicated domain, where things and processes live. The complex domain, this is where we play. This is where the action happens. This is where we work. The domain of chaos, Crazy Town, Population U. You don't want to be there. Don't want to be there. From the bottom, we have concrete. These things are facts. Super, 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 this is a fact. As we go up, things get more abstract. We have to think harder. We have to look harder. We have to make tenuous connections, right? All the way up at the top, that's the top, the peak of abstraction. The lower we are, the more concrete we are, the more factual it is. The higher up we go, the more abstract things get. Over here we have disorder or unordered. These are two unordered domains over here, right? We can't know what's happening there. We can only know after the fact. Over here, these are ordered domains. This side over here is order, right? So the things over here, they only exist in your mind. This is reality. Reality is in your mind. Actuality, what actually happens, is over here, right? Your sit behavior lives up here. Okay, it's probably, if it's really good, it's probably down here, right? So your sit behavior lives down here, right? It's in your mind here, right? You know exactly how it works, right? It's 100%. You know, I give the cue, the dog drops her ass, the end. Maybe I give them a cookie, maybe I mark it, whatever, but the sit, boom, ass hits the ground, right? Well, when we go and do it, particularly at a contest, an obedience thing, that sit is now it's in the real world. It might not happen perfectly. The dog might be crooked. There might be a chair that snaps shut, a folding chair. Someone snaps a folding chair shut. Dog shits his pants. Your sit doesn't happen. That's what actually happens, right? It can happen. We're highly confident that it's going to happen. We're down here, concrete, right? I know it's going to happen, yeah? But I can't tell you with 100% specificity that it will, because someone might do something. A dog might bite my dog. Dog might be too close to my dog. It might be too loud. It might be some weird smell, right? When we're over on this side, this is the real world. This is not reality. This is actuality. My dog does that, really. Well, bring him over here. Bring him over here, right? And we'll find out. Oh, actually, my dog only knows that in the studio. Actually, my dog can only do that without loud music playing, right? Reality over here doesn't exist except in the mind. Actuality on the field, real life over here. So our sit lives over here. Our concepts, attention, foot target, nose target, pressure, like here, watch this. Pressure. Come here. Pressure, oh shit. Pressure will force the sit, right? Ass hitting the ground, body target, position, right? Those concepts, they live down here. And I think those are going to be, if you're a philosophy nerd, I think those are going to be universals. I think those are going to be universals down here. So facts and concepts live down here. Sit, the behavior, lives up here. Disquando forms, toss and fetch, right? Oh, come on, man. So crazy. Oh, no, I just moved the grr. Toss and fetch, right? Toss and fetch lives up here. Yeah, really, we do awesome toss and fetch. We always get 25 points. Well, Actually, I'm not that great in the wind. Actually, my dog can't see in the sun. Ooh, I didn't know that my dog was nervous around speakers that have bags on them to protect from the water when it's raining, right? Actuality different than reality. All right, over here, this is where we play. All of our play, all of our work takes place over here. Why am I mentioning all this? The reason that I'm mentioning all this is that we always think we're in reality. We always think we're over here. We work over here. There's no work to be had over here. This is in your head. The sit that works all the time, it didn't work. You're not over here. You're over here. You're actually doing it. Okay? The attention that you thought was going to be offered everywhere, right? The dog doesn't do it in this situation. Actually, the dog doesn't do it, right? So, big mistake. We treat our dog training as if it is like it is in our head. And we constantly, the moment we get a trick, I come out and I do a through, the through behavior, right? I'm going to do a through behavior here in a sec. I do the through behavior, right? I get better at it. 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 And I'm moving it over here as quickly as I can because I need that through behavior, right? If I just moved along the same level of concreteness and abstract, all I have is the version of my through as I did it at 18 inches away in the training studio with no music on, with no dogs in there, with no people in there, and I've already moved it over here like I know it. My dog is like, I don't know what the fuck's happening, but it's great. Woo, this is great, you know? And we move it over here as if we know. Dog, handler, and team have to know these things. So what we want to do is we want to do the through, right? And then we want to throw the cookie. We want to throw the cookie. And the dog will do the through on the run. We want to do the through clockwise. We want to do the through counterclockwise. We want to do the through, I don't know, in the grass. We want to do the through with toys, right? We want to move all around here, right? And take it up to this really high level of abstraction. I'm going to do a through after I've spun. I'm going to do a through and do something out of it. And then we drop it in the proofing funnel and it's ready over here. I have it in my brain, dog has it in their brain. Now it's a real complicated skill. We can use it, right? So we move around these domains. I take things from over here, I throw them over here, I see where they're at. I do harder things with them. I do harder things with them. Oh, that's too hard. I do easier thing. I do it more like we normally do it, closer to order, right? I get over here, we do it super simple, right? And then we abstract it. Ooh, this is crazy. This is crazy. This is super crazy. Ooh, gotta do it easier, easier, easier. And then once we've moved it all around this domain, we throw it in there. Same thing with things down here, right? All right, so you'll notice down here, sense, categorize, respond. With our criteria and our behavioral concepts. Criteria, behavioral concepts live down here. We need to use them. Attention. I move it over here. Just giving me attention gives me nothing. If I just do attention over here, that's where it is. That's it, attention. Attention for a bite. Attention for the opportunity to target. Attention for the opportunity to work with me. Attention while I'm on the pedestal. Attention while I'm in stand position on hind legs. Attention in pretty. Attention in a handstand. I want to move this all around. Once I've moved it all around, I can throw it back over here, and the dog has a very abstract notion of it. We sense, we categorize, respond. Once the dog and handler know these concepts, when something happens or when something's needed, we sense what's needed, we categorize it. Oh, that's an attention thing. And then we respond. Dink. Right? We sense, ooh, that looks like it might be a hand target situation. We sense it. What's he doing? Yeah, okay, that looks like a hand target situation. Then I respond. Right? Up here, as we go higher and abstract, now we're in a sit situation, right? We sense, we analyze, we respond. This isn't a perfect thing for the dog, although they do analyze. We sense what's happening. We then analyze what's happening. Then we respond. So in these two domains, the complicated stuff, the things and processes, they might not be immediately categorizable, right? We might not recognize that we need to use them. We need to do some analysis first, right? We need to do some analysis. Maybe we need to watch a YouTube video. Maybe we need to read. Maybe we just need to think through what's happening. Maybe we need to consult an expert. Then we respond. Experts will disagree. There's very little disagreement down here. These are best practices, right? As we move over here, this is the critical thing. This is the whole thing I want to show you, and I'm going to demonstrate it with the dogs in 5 minutes max. Over here, when we do things in actuality, when we actually do it for real, yeah, fucking philosophy, man. We have to try it first. We don't know what's going to happen with the sit in the new environment until we try it. We can't know until we try it, right? I can tell you, yeah, my dog's totally going to do that, really. And then something happens, and actually my dog has a problem with that, right? So when we're in the complex domain, we offer a safe to fail probe, right? A safe to fail, I'll try this. That's pretty easy, we'll try it, right? No big deal, no skin off my back. Then we sense what happens. Did it work? Yes, I'll do it again. Did it work? No. Okay, I should try something else, right? And that's the response. So when you're doing something, you have to try it first. If you don't know how to do it, I can't give you the step-by-step. You've never done it before. You're going to have to try something that you've never done before. Sorry, that's the way it goes, right? You have to probe first. Do something safe to fail. Take the eye contact. Reinforce for position. Now the dog's in heel. Awesome. Pay the shit out of that dog, right? Bam, 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 right? We have to try something first. Safe to fail probe. Dogs only, when we're working with them, if they have opportunity with us, they perceive they are in this complex domain. When our dogs are shaping, they're throwing safe to fail probes at us. They're sensing our response. The click, oh, ooh, ooh. They're sensing our response. And then they're making a decision on whether they're going to repeat it based upon our response. Cool? All right. Chaos, fuck that place. Get out. In chaos, you act first, then you sense, then you respond. Attention, drop, bite, dismissal. BADD. Bite, attention, drop, dismissal. That's how you get out of chaos. Do that, and then you're going to run to the apparatic domain. That's the center domain. All right, now here we go. Going to go, I told you 5 minutes. I'm going to be probably a minute late. The apparatic domain. Boom! This is that center zone, okay? In here, we have, I want to enter here. I can enter here. I can dismiss into here. Go to dog stuff. That's when I come in here. This is where I plan. Okay? The top part of that apparatic domain is where I plan. Aporia, apparatic. That's where I got that term. I choose, in the green part up here, I choose not to take the question. The C part, that's confusion. I'm overwhelmed. I'm unable to take the question. I've ran into an impasse. I'm not happy with it, right? But if I choose to not take the question right now, go to dog stuff. Now I'm free to do my coaching, my planning. I got a whole thing in here, okay? And I don't want to go too deep into it because I want to show you guys. But when I dismiss the dog, I'm going to enter into the apparatic domain. I'm going to enter into the apparatic state, and I'm going to do so on my choosing, right? So here we are, dismissal. Oh, come on. W. So dismissal is the green part. I choose to go there. Go to dog stuff. I'm going to plan. Go to dog stuff. We need a break. Go to dog stuff. I need a break, right? I'm cool here. My dog is out there. I'm going to shape engagement from here. My dog should give me soft work. If I wind up in here confused, shit hits the fan, I don't know what to do, run away, right? You can get pushed into the apparatic domain where you can't take the question. So, clear domain, fixed constraints. There are only certain things we can do with these concepts and criteria. Complicated, governing constraints. These are the behaviors and skills that we have. Complex domain, enabling constraints. This is how you learn. This is where you learn. This is what enables you to do new things, right? This is what enables you to be better. This is where you're at, and you can't know what you're doing until it's done. You have to probe first. Chaos, no effective constraints. You don't want to be there. All right. Let's work some dogs. Boom. All right, so turn this here. Shabanya, look at that good man. Now that guy is loyal. Epi, you are so loyal. Did you guys see this? Did you guys see how loyal he is? Cupcake? Oops. Did you see how, oh, King, yeah, you're loyal, right? You're not at all. All right. So, Epi has decided his safe to fail probe is to, hey there. All right. Epi's safe to fail probe was to never get off the pedestal. King offered a safe to fail probe of getting on the pedestal. Cupcake is offering attention. She's getting in front position. That's a safe to fail probe for her. When she gets my attention and it doesn't work, she'll try something else. I would anticipate a stretch. Yes. Right? That's a safe to fail probe for her. Right? And I marked it. She'll do it again because it worked. She probed with eye contact. It didn't work. She did the stretch. It worked. Right? And I don't have a cue on it. She's going to try backing up. That isn't going to work. Right? The probe that's going to work is the stretch. Right? And I'll give her some interaction. Right? Oh my gosh, look at her. I can come over here and work this guy. I don't care what she's doing. Right? She doesn't care either. She's in it. Right? And she'll get excited and she'll offer backup. I like that. That's very nice, right? I can interact with her. That's not going to do it though, right? There it is. Yeah, I see you, right? Wow. right? So that's her safe to fail probe. She's going to offer it again. Yes, good girl. Wow, look at her. Holy cow, right? And very quickly, she's going to start to establish this behavior, right? That's new, by the way. Just started happening with the backup behavior and hitting the mat. Right, so she'll do that, and she'll do that, and here comes the stretch. Here comes her safe to fail probe. She doesn't quite know what's happening yet, right? That's okay. Right? It's okay. I know. The eye contact isn't working. Her backing up isn't working. Being cute isn't working, right? Yes, good girl. Wow, that's awesome. Go do dog stuff. I'm going to go to the aporetic domain, right? Now I'm planning what I'm going to do next. She is not really taking the hint. Yeah, she just checked out. She's going to stay tuned close enough to interact with me, but she doesn't expect that we're doing work, right? So when I'm in the aporetic domain, I have no responsibility. I'm out of play, right? I can look at her. Go do dog stuff means I'm off limits, right? And she should do something nice like these guys are doing, and maybe she'll get the opportunity to work with me. This is where engagement starts. Engagement starts with dismissal. If she doesn't know how to disengage, I don't have an off switch. If I can't turn it off, I can't turn it on. In order to have control on the on switch, on engagement, you must have dismissal. If you don't, you just got an automatic machine, right? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to set this up. Her safe to fail probe is going to be to get on it. Look at that, right? I'll take the eye contact, yes. I'll pay her here. Yes, good girl, right? And I'll pay her here. Yes, good girl. Wow, that's awesome. I really like the effort. Back up. Yes, good girl. Yes, good girl. Halt. Good girl. Epi, stop. Off. Yes. Chill, Epi. Ready? Back up. Oh, that's not it. Back up. Epi, zip. I might not. Yes, good girl. I like the buck and bronco. Awesome. Go do dog stuff. I'm going to stop because that's going to mess her up with Epi giving her shit. Right? So I just dismissed her. Now, I'm in the aporetic state, right? She's free to do whatever she wants. She'd have to bite a child or run into the street, right? In order to get my attention. She's doing a safe to fail probe. It's not going to work. I'm dismissed, or she's dismissed, right? I'll come over here and pay these guys. Right? Okay, so we got the pretty, we got the backing up, just kind of did that for the halibut. Epi, up up, epic, epic, up up, yes, chill. Cupcake, up up, yes. Now I'm going to wait for the stretch up here. Yes, oh my gosh, oh, what happened? I'm going to layer this though. Yes. Yes. Good girl. I'm going to put some duration on this. Off. Good girl. Up. The yes, and I'll pay. Off. Good. Yes, and I'll pay. Off. Oops. She doesn't have layered behaviors yet. Yes, good girl. I'll take the eye contact. Yes. Yes, and I'll pay. Off. Good. Off. Yes. I'm going to layer the pedestal and the pretty. Up. Wait. Boom. Yes. So YES, oops. Oh, you bitch. Yes on the action. Cookies through the duration. Off. Yes. Pay. Off. Yes. Awesome. Go do dog stuff. All right. So duration. Again, she's dismissed. I'm in the aporetic state. I can do whatever I want. So can she. Right? Duration has a beginning and an end. While the dog is down, there is no marker. There's no behavior happening, right? Or while the dog is in pretty, there's no behavior happening. The two behaviors in a duration behavior are the start and the finish. I call it bookending. So you have the stretch, yes, pay, 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 off. Yes. Good girl. I like that, Cupcake. So the off cue tells her that it's a duration behavior, right? That is one of our concepts. That is one of our concepts from the clear domain. Come on, Ron. Come on, Ron. Gosh darn it. That is one of our concepts from the clear domain. Right? One of the concepts from right down here. Right? Duration. I tell you to do it. You do it. I tell you off. As soon as my dog gets the off cue, they go ding, ding, ding. That's duration. So Cupcake, Cupcake. Yes, good. When I did, she has attention in stand. Come here. So if I stand, yes. Off. Good. The reason that she has attention there is because she has the idea that stand, off. Yes. That the off ends the stand. And she doesn't know anything, by the way, guys. She's puppy. Come on, Cupcake. Off. Yes, good girl. Awesome, go do dog stuff. So that off cue tells her that it's a duration behavior. Super handy when my dog knows the duration behavior as a concept down here in the clear domain. Now my dog uses that concept when we're playing up here in the complex domain. And the complex domain, enabling constraints. It enables us to do things, right? All right, one last thing. I was talking about where is the trigger, right? Where is the trigger? So, where is the trigger? Through. Boom. Yes, good girl. Wow, that was awesome, right? So I tell her through, and she doesn't know what to do. There's a trigger. Yes. Right? Epi, come on, dude. And it's funny, right? I'm doing a through, and it's kind of lame. And he's like, oh my God, it's amazing, right? Twist. Boom. Yes, good girl. Spin. Boom. Yes, good girl. When I tell her, go do dog stuff. When I tell her what to do, I give her the cue. She constitutes the idea. Ooh, through, huh? Okay, I hear you. And then she looks at the situation. She goes, yeah, you're about that far away. I'm on the spot. I think you're going to open your legs. I think we're going through that. That's pretty standard. Where's the trigger, bitch? And then I open up and she makes the meaning happen, makes the decision, right? We went through that at the very beginning with the stuff by Bursel, or Busurl, I think is how you pronounce his name, right? The intentionality. And there you go, dude. That's what I got for Philosophy Friday. Is anybody still here? Anybody still here? Maybe, probably not. I can run people out. I can run people out. No doubt about that. All right, let's play some music. Hang out here for a few, see if anybody shows up. Byron's still here. Here, hang on. Where's my, there it is. Do it again, make it loud. All right. All right. Well, that's what I got for Philosophy Friday. I'm going to be doing this. I want to get my shtick together, right? I'd like to be able to lay this out in a couple minutes. Each of these ideas in like 5-10 minutes rather than, I don't know, half hour, whatever. I'm super stoked about it, man. Very, very excited. Hope you guys are too. Tell your friends, have some people show up. I'd love to get questions, and I'd like to argue about it. If somebody wants to argue with me, I'm totally cool with that. I mean, I don't want to argue, but I would like to be challenged on it. I need that to make sure that it stands up and holds up. I'm hoping to wind up with much better trained dogs. That has been the, so I'm really interested in doing new things, right? Creating new tricks, figuring out how to do these tricks, figuring out how to teach people how to do these tricks. I'm not a great finisher with proofing behaviors, right? In the past, I've said I generalize the behavior so much that it just winds up like that, right? And I'm good with that. Like epi, 2 hours, no problem on the ball, not even a problem, right? When we were at the Pajama Factory, you can watch Positive Vibe Season 2. I would recommend that, by the way. Positive Vibe, Season 2, Episode 1, start there. That's our whole shtick. And, you know, while you're watching that, I'd like you to recognize that there are 10 crazy, crazy dogs off lead, all in down stays, while dogs are working. We had 15 to 22 dogs in a pajama factory with 6 apartments above us, right? All that shit went down on camera, all long cuts with 10, 15 dogs in the studio, right? So pretty good stuff. It lays out our whole shtick. Episode 1 is attention. Episode 2 is targeting. Episode 3 is threshold. 4, I think, is rate of reinforcement. 5 is, I don't remember. 6 is duration. 7 is a mystery show. 8 is bite. 9 is drop, or the other way around. Those are our things in the clear domain. Those are the big money criteria and concepts over here in the clear domain, right? So it's a pretty good show. And again, I know nothing is finished on the show. Not the point. Not the point. I'm not trying to show you a finished behavior. I'm not trying to show you how to do a behavior. I'm trying to help you better communicate with your dog and play, right? To play. So, all right, Byron, I appreciate you sticking with me. For the rest of you guys, if you see it later, super cool. Philosophy Friday, we'll do it again. I don't even want to debate. Byron. I want to be challenged, right? I want to be challenged, and I want to figure out how to talk about it better, and I want to figure out where it's weak, right? I want to figure out where it's weak and where people are going to struggle to understand it, where I'm going to get pushback, so I can be more careful in how I phrase that stuff. So, yeah. I don't like to debate, actually. I like to discuss things. I like to share information. I'm not a big fan of... I used to be a big fan of winning. I would win most of the arguments I was in. At least I thought so, right? But not a fan of that anymore. And, you know, even when I was arguing quite a bit about stuff, I didn't want to argue. I wanted to be challenged, to be heard, right? Like, I didn't want to be misinterpreted. That was usually what it was. You know, I'd say something and they'd be like, you said this. And I'm not saying that, dude. I'm not saying that, right? I'm not saying that science isn't valid. I'm not saying that science is bad, right? I'm just saying that it isn't quite what we were led to believe. And there's a lot of stuff that happens outside of that. And anyway, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to go. I'll play us out with Badass Meme Roll number 4 again. Thanks again for hanging out, Byron. Anybody else? Thanks a bunch. Patreon, pvibe.com/Patreon. Yep, class on Tuesday. All right, can't wait to get that feedback. One more Griff link, patreon.com/pvibe. All right, we'll see you guys later. Have a good one. Ooh, patrons, gotta mention the patrons first. Still May of last year. If you dig the show, thank a patron. Wouldn't be happening without these guys. All of you guys, thanks a bunch. I really appreciate the support. I hope you guys show up and start coming and hanging out. All right, Badass Meme Roll number 4. Oh. Dude, King, you gotta do something about that sit, buddy. Come on. Slow down. Oh, look at that thing from last night. All right, go back and watch the stream, whoever just showed up. See you later.